Welcome to a new week. We have a very special guest here. His name is Malik Afegbua. Did I get it right? I'll try. Meet the visionary Malik Afegbua, filmmaker, AI pioneer, culture shifter. What happens when art, technology, and African heritage collide? You get Malik Afegbua, one of Africa's most exciting creative technologists and filmmakers shaping the future of storytelling. From launching Slick TV in 2013 to working with Meta, Marvel Studios, and building Africa's first large language model, is called ALLM V1. Malik is not just pushing boundaries, he's erasing them. You probably know him from the Elder series, a viral project that used AI to portray seniors in regal futuristic fashion, challenging ageism and reshaping global conversations around beauty, representation, and power. In this exclusive sit down, we dive into Malik's journey, how he got into the film business, why he believes African stories belong at the center of global innovation, and how he's blending AI plus Afro-speculative cinema to tell stories the world has never seen before. If you're an emerging filmmaker, tech creative, or just someone passionate about the future of African cinema, you don't want to miss this. This is more than an interview. This is a blueprint for building the future of storytelling from the African continent to the world. Thank you very much, Malik, for coming to have a chat with us about the business of film for emerging producers and existing producers. So we'd like you to start by telling us who you are and how you got into the business of film.
Yes, I am a storyteller across different mediums of expression. So one of it is film, all forms. So when it comes to documentaries, TV shows, mostly I spend most of my time shooting TV commercials. Done a lot of high budget commercials on the continent and outside the continent as well. I've been doing that for the past 16, 17 years this year. But of recent, it's been more of me chasing technology and finding new ways to enhance my storytelling. So I also delve in tech, extended reality, artificial intelligence, and stuff like that. So that's me.
Well, that's nice. So, what's the biggest financial risk you've ever taken on a film project, and did it pay off?
Well, that was me putting my money into a film because not many people would like to get investors or get somebody else's money to shoot a film. I had some support, but it was mostly me also putting something in there, and that was just me shooting based off of the fact that I wanted to do a short film for like a social issue that was a problem at that time. But it was a risk because while I was doing that, I didn't think about things like distribution, so that it was just purely passion. So that was a risk. And thinking back, it's still kind of like a risk because I haven't released it. I just chose not to release it. I showed it a few places, a few festivals in the country, outside the country, but to have a proper release, I just shelved it. For many reasons anyway, but I think that was it. When it comes to other things like equipment, because I also invest in like equipment and stuff, I don't call it a risk because even if newer things come out or it's not used as much as I want it to be used, it's mostly experimental for me. I don't necessarily see that as a risk, even if that bunch of equipment that I've acquired that I've never even used before.
How does it feel like? Because a lot of emerging producers, a lot of talent out there, or people that want to go into the industry, they just buy a lot of equipment here and there. They might not even need it. So, from your experience of you getting a lot of equipment and you haven't used it, how did you feel about it? Did you feel bad? Like, oh, I think I wasted money on this. I shouldn't have made this decision. Like, what are your thoughts towards that?
This is my personal opinion, though, but I will also advise. On my own personal opinion, I like gadgets. I like to experiment. I like to test. I don't want to wait to a week or days before on sets before I know how something works. Even if I'm a director, I'm also a technical person. I deal with a lot of technical things. I know exactly what I want to do, how I want to do it. So I don't let anybody dictate to me. I kind of, have an idea of everything. I'm always testing. I'm always acquiring something new for like a hobbyist reason so that I can just use that to see what it might not be anything commercial, but I know I have a solution for something based off of, there's this new lens, there's this new drone, there's this new, thing that is out. But what I would advise generally is don't buy, but rent. because especially if you're doing big production, if you're doing something that requires a lot of crew or multiple things, just rent, because those things are really expensive. But if you are doing like passion project, hobbies things, then you could acquire some things, then rent some other things to add to that. I have 5 drones. I don't even fly up to here. The FPV drone that I got, I've never flown it before. The main drone that is flown for my production is not even here. It's one of my crew members. It's to me, it's just there. I'm just admiring them on the shelf, but someone else that could be a waste. But I didn't say that was a waste. The money could have gone into any other things.
That's 5 drones. I wish I had one anyway.
If you were like a geek like I am, you probably would get one. If you're interested in it, because I've stopped. I've slowed down on that impulse, and it's not a need, it's a want. So I had to slow down because the dollar is not smiling. If you're living in Nigeria, you're spending in dollars. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy when you like the exchange rate and every other thing. Especially when it comes to production, it takes a lot at the end of the day. Okay, so as the creator of Elder series, how did you develop your story idea, and how did you know it was worth developing?
I'll start with the second question, and I have to take you back a little bit. The way I tell stories it has to be intentional. It's from a place of intentional reason, so that I could either change mindsets or evoke emotion or speak about something or remind you about something. And I understand when it comes to being a Black person, when it comes to being an African or a Nigerian, there's a certain mindset we have as Black people or being African, and that is that mindset that we always need to ask for permission. That can I do this? Do I have the right to do this? It's something that we always fight in our heads, not knowing that we actually do have the power. We have this stain of misrepresentation when it comes to our history, when it comes to our heritage, when it comes to who we really are, that is kind of stuck on that colonial stage and slavery and this third world facade, which is not true. So I like to go way beyond that. I like to go to the life that we had before colonialism, our histories, about who we really are, like how powerful we are, how we own things, and we are thought leaders, and stuff like that. So that informs the backbone to anything that I am doing when it comes to storytelling. Because I understand how important storytelling can be, how it shaped the world. Really, the world was shaped with storytelling one way or the other. And Hollywood has been a big player for that. We learned to do many things via films, books, music. Subconsciously, we learn from that. We learn how to live and look a certain way from storytelling. So that's the power that I understand, how that could either change the world for the good or for the bad. So when I'm telling any story, I have at the back of my head, why am I telling that story? Who is it for? What impact does that story have? All these questions are for me. First of all, what is the impact to me? What does it mean to me? How would it affect me when I'm looking at that in a week from now? Or is it just for me to pass the time? And when I can answer those questions and I am back on the story, so I start to think about what tool I want to use to tell that story. For me, it's not about the tool, it's about the story itself. So that way, no matter what tool I'm using or what medium I'm using, that emotion is still there, that message is still passed, and that impact is still kind of felt one way or the other. So everything I have done before and after that is based on that. But that resonated a lot because it was deeply rooted on identity, deeply rooted on how we've been represented in the past and how the world sees us as well. So it kind of went viral based on that as well. So that was the intention, first of all. How can whatever story I'm telling, so anything that comes after that mindset is on autopilot. It just leaves off of that template and just, comes out. So the other series came from the space of representing the demographic in spaces we've never seen before. Why did you represent in a certain space? What if, like, you don't have to be 60, 70 and you're just in a home, or you're retired and just not doing anything, or you're depressed, or you're waiting for the kids to take care of you and stuff like that. You can still keep living your life, And that's how I saw it, because now I realized it was based on perception, based on even how they saw themselves. And that project has changed individuals on people that are even aged about 75 to live differently based of what they could see, what they could do in themselves. Question, why are they even doing this thing this way? And even for inclusion as well, it's changed many things like in the world, where we see older people being added to fashion shows now, on big stages, on other things as well. Yeah, so I guess that need for being intentional really paid off to the end of the story. But we're still on that journey anyway.
Yeah, because I was so like happy when I saw one of the clips where the aunties were sliding on the skating, but I'm like, me myself, I can't even do that. Like, I'm so scared to even fall off a
Yeah.
bicycle. So why would I want to? But when I said, I was like, okay, I'm sure she practiced a lot. Maybe during her childhood, she could do this, and so maybe she's just trying to like
So
have fun.
I have to bust your bubble a little bit. There are two sides to the other series. There's the AI version and there's the real version. What you saw were not real people, first of all. Just so you know. And it's okay, I get that a lot. But I would inspire, because I've had a lot of DMs from elderly people saying, I'd love to try that. Like, I'd love to try that. Like, I hope I don't fall, or I would love to try something close to that. So it's just an aspiration. I do like I do the extreme sometimes, but I do the normal things sometimes, just having fun and basking in euphoria, because an elderly person can easily get depressed just via loneliness, being by themselves for too long, and that shortens their lifespan as well. But when you bask in euphoria one way or the other, and you live life to the fullest, you're expanding your life, you're doing a bunch of other things. So that's also part of kind of the stories that I tell.
That's nice. And have you ever walked away from a great idea because it wasn't viable for production?
I have walked away from many ideas, but I don't think I want to detail them in case they see it, so they understand why I'm very intentional. I don't work for money, even if money is a necessity. Money is a byproduct. So that way I could always choose the kind of things I want to do. And it was not always like that. There's a time in my life I had a 9 to 5, earning salaries. I mean, I was earning a lot of money every month, 7 figure every month, and I quit my job without having another job. I just quit because I felt that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. Even if that was a media job, but still, I felt like I needed to be doing more. I mean, when I quit, there was no money, nothing was coming in, and I was literally, in the lion's den. But it was a right thing because just a little bit after that, I picked up again, and at my own pace, at my own. I don't have to have 100 million naira in the bank. I could have a million naira in the bank, and I'm still saying no to 100 million naira project. So it's not that the money doesn't motivate me, and that's happened many times. But if the project resonates, if it's intentional, if it's valuable, it's necessary to the world that we're living in, and it amplifies identity, amplifies culture, amplifies self-building. Yes, what if it's just based off of a narrative that you're just trying to sell, or you're just trying to, get numbers, or like, sorry, I don't care who the person or what the project is. I just wouldn't tie my name to it. And if you look at the world as well, look at the greats. If you check out great people that do great books or great films, you never see someone doing 5 or 6 films in a year. You can see one of them doing a film in 5 years, but that film would last forever. Like, you still go back to that film and it's still something. That's the kind of impact I want to have. I don't want to do everything with no impact. I want to do something and have impact. It has its pros and cons, but because some people would not just get it, and except you are some major celebrity, you always get jobs. So that means you're not always going to get jobs. It's not going to come every time. But God has a way of blessing you in a way that, because you're intentional, I won't let you fall or leave you hanging.
Yeah, I won't leave you stranded.
Exactly. So, and I believe in that a lot. So I have walked away from big productions, walked away from ideas, I walked away from stuff like that. But I won't tell you why. I'll just give you a random reason because I know how Nigeria is. So that's why I said I don't want to mention anything here because they'll just tag me.
I don't know that. I understand, like, because at the end of the day, sure, people just they don't. So a lot of people just want to like put their name out there, do a lot of production, and just say, oh, because somebody's making this certain amount in box office, this person is making a certain amount. I just want to go into film. I like the fact that you are being intentional about whatever production you stick your name on. At the end of the day, it's like a legacy for you. And which brings me to this question. So when you were developing the Elder series, did you pitch it to any broadcaster, and which mistakes did you make when you were pitching, or maybe earlier days of your career in film, which mistakes did you make when pitching the story
I
idea?
didn't teach that to anybody, and that was a big lesson for me as well. But prior to that, done many pitches, done many things, and the mistake that I learned came after the virality of the Elder series. So I realized that when you're valuable, when you not just valuable, when you show that you have value, and you've proven that with your track record and with things that you've done. You don't have to do that thing with anybody. You can do that by yourself on your own track. They will come to you. They'll look for you. You don't have to look for them. You don't have to go and pitch anything. They'll come and pitch to you. That's what's been happening in my case. Like prior, I go to agencies and I would go to I'll pitch, but my stories, because they're intentional, it's not as commercial as you want it to be. It's not based on just like random anything. It's based on intentional things. I believe in world building. I believe in contributing, nation building, and I believe storytelling can do that. If you could change mindsets systematically by what they consume, is what I believe. It doesn't have to be immediate, but it could be intentionally done in many different ways. But what people were looking for was just quick releases or quick escapes, or just entertainment that is just out there that is baseless, just makes you laugh or makes you dance or makes you escape your current reality. And so most of my pitches would, until I add something commercial in there before they would go, okay, I like this or not. But after the virality and they saw value, most of the people that I'd even pitched to in the past were coming to me, forgetting that I'd pitched to them in the past and pitches them. And I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say I'll just keep it and I'll just laugh and I'll just have that conversation if it's worth it. Yeah, no. A lot of places that are dream places to work or collaborate with, I've found myself training their staff today. I found myself having motivational talks there, and I just realized, okay, just keep doing what you're doing, but do it really, you won't really have to worry. They'll find you, And I was thinking as well that what if I was just doing random films just for film's sake? The kind of conversation I'm having today with people in Hollywood, I wouldn't be having that. I wouldn't even be close to them, but the kind of conversation I'm having with big producers, production companies that are seeing my vision and they're understanding it, they're trying to tap into it. I don't think I'll be there because I would have seen that body of work and, thinking that was my trajectory. And I would have been comfortable in that space, earning the small millions and doing stuff. I tell creatives, whatever you're doing, put your all in it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really, as long as that all in is in it, you'll be great at that thing and people will come to you. You can start expanding from there. So that's the mistake I made then. Prior to that, I was focused on trying to make money. I was focused on trying to pitch this and do that. But after that, I'm more focused on building my own self, building my own skills, my knowledge base, everything. I want to be sitting in rooms with, the biggest directors or people in the world and having same conversations with them about the same kind of things, regardless of where I'm from. And most of the kind of things I was getting last year, 2 years ago was, you're in Nigeria. What are you doing in Nigeria? Kind of thing. Or stuff like that. Like, I didn't expect, like, are you joking? Like, really, we need to stop that, So, yeah, I will keep learning every day as well.
Thank you very much, Malik, for being part of this interview. So, guys, this is another episode this week with Malik Afegbua, the creative director for Elder series. It was something I used to admire, like from one corner. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could produce something like this. Who is this guy? I've always admired your work. I always check out your post on LinkedIn. So it's good to also hear somebody from where we also come from and seeing things in a different perspective. And you also believe that regardless of wherever you are from, your location, you can be at par with the so-called big producers out there, regardless of where you started from. Like I said, thank you very much for being part of this interview. Great day. Thank you very, very much. To every emerging producer watching this, here's what my story reminds us. You don't need permission to innovate. You don't need a massive budget to tell a powerful story. You just need vision, resilience, and the willingness to learn, pivot, and keep creating with purpose. Whether you are developing your first pitch deck, trying to raise the first dollar or naira or cities, or experimenting with AI in post, don't wait for the industry to catch up. Be the shift. Use your roots, use your tech, use your voice. And remember, the business of film is not just about cameras and credits. It's about ownership, audience, and long-term impact. If you have learned something new, drop a comment. If this inspired you, hit that follow or subscribe. And if you are ready to tell stories the world needs, we are right here with you. Have a good week.